Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. And I want to talk about the Lakers head coaching situation because I see a lot of people out there calling for Frank Vogel's job. It's been out there now that, the Frank Vogel's job isn't safe. And unfortunately, man, I feel like this is just another case of being a coach for a LeBron-led basketball team. And my personal opinion on this is, at what point do you stop blaming the coach and start blaming the players? And the reason I say that is because as a Pacers fan, okay, I have watched the Pacers be mediocre for 3-4 years now, and it seems like no matter what head coach they bring in, they are subject to the same issues every year, okay? They suck at playing defense, they collapse in the third quarter, they start out games really good and never finish them well. Like, this has been an ever-going trend since, 2016 with the Indiana Pacers. Their roster isn't always healthy, you know what I'm saying? And you can't really blame that on the coach. But I've seen multiple coaches come through Indiana, and none of them have been able to fix the issues with some of these players. Eventually, at some point in time, players just develop habits. When you've been in the NBA for, 15, 20 seasons, some of these guys, they develop habits and they don't break them, okay? They don't break them for nobody. And, I've watched the Pacers go through, Nate McMillan, Nate Bojerkin, and now they have Rick Carlisle. And it's still the same shit. It's still a team that can't shoot three-pointers. It's still a team that can't play defense. It's just, at some point in time, you have to stop blaming the coach. And, it would be easy to say Frank Vogel is the issue if most of these guys were, young guys. You know what I'm saying? I think the Lakers have the oldest roster, age-wise, in the NBA right now. And You've got guys on that roster who have never in their lives been asked to really be lockdown defender guys or even asked to play fucking defense. You got Carmelo, who has never really been asked to play defense. Russell Westbrook is at a point where he is atrocious on defense. It would be one thing if the Lakers didn't win the championship last year. You know what I'm saying? It would be one thing if, the Lakers were not number one in defense last year and won a championship, okay? It would be one thing if they were one of the worst teams in the league consistently since Frank Vogel became the head coach, but that's simply not the case. They literally won a championship last year. And I feel like, you know what, it's just a sad case of the Lakers are looking for somebody to blame, and they're going to blame Frank Vogel. And I really don't think you can blame it all on Frank Vogel, mostly because Frank Vogel is just trying to make do with what he has. I will admit the lineups have not been the greatest, okay? I was kind of wondering why he was running lineups with, Rajon Rondo out there and Russell Westbrook before they traded Rondo. But I think the real place that blame needs to be assigned is in the front office. The Lakers went out of their way to get Russell Westbrook for LeBron. And, they did what LeBron wanted. They went out and got Russell Westbrook, and now they gave up their depth, they gave up their youth, they gave up their defense to get a guy who is shooting, 64% from the free throw line this year, guy who sucks at defense. He's averaging 5 turnovers a game, and, I feel like you can't blame that on Frank Vogel. This is what happens when you let players be GMs, okay? Lead GM, okay? I understand wanting to include your star player in the decisions the front office makes, but you shouldn't just do something because a player wants it. I feel like if you're the GM of any team in any sport, whether it's football, soccer, baseball, basketball, whatever, whatever sport. As a GM, you're supposed to do what's best for your team. And LeBron-led teams have never been that way, okay? LeBron-led teams always do what is best for LeBron. They don't do what is in best interest of the team. And it's a trend I've noticed over the years. And while it has shown to work in the past, okay, LeBron James is a, top 2 player all time. It's really just between him and Michael Jordan. I don't think, you can really argue anybody else. Maybe Kareem. But it's just the idea, man. This is the first time ever that this is not working, okay? This is the first time ever that, a team doing what is in the best interest of their superstar player is not working, or at least what they think is in best interest of their superstar player. And LeBron is 37 years old now, and it's obvious LeBron is not what he once was. And I watch LeBron play, and LeBron is he's not, I want to say, a lot of Lakers fans like to think LeBron is not subject to criticism. But I've been watching, I watched the Denver Nuggets game the other night where they lost to Denver by, 37 points or something? And LeBron is being just as shitty on defense as everyone else is. So LeBron's not playing D, Carmelo's not playing D, Russell Westbrook's not playing D, Anthony Davis is out. It feels like when Dwight Howard comes off the floor, their defense is non-existent. Avery Bradley's not what he used to be. Trevor Ariza's not what he used to be. And it's just like, I understand what they tried to do here, but a lot of these guys are past their prime, or, they're trying to save whatever NBA career they have left. And when you have guys who don't buy into a system, when you have guys who can't break their own habits, when you have guys who miscommunicate on defense, nobody's calling out screens, they're just leaving guys open. I mean, there's no amount of coaching you can give a player that will change the way he plays the game if he's not willing to buy into the system, if he's not willing to make the extra effort. And, I get it. LeBron's 37 and he can't be expected to do everything. But I also don't expect you, if your assignment is Jeff Green, to leave Jeff Green open in the fucking corner every time he catches the ball. I mean, there was one play specifically around, I think, the 6 minute and 30-second mark against the Denver Nuggets where the Nuggets get a steal or whatever, and they're running back down the floor. LeBron is back and Avery Bradley are back, right? And Jeff Green runs to the corner. LeBron's not even looking at Jeff Green. He doesn't even know Jeff Green is open behind him. And, he passes, Jeff Green gets the ball, shoots a 3, and it's water, all net. And I think to myself, you can't fix a player's awareness. You can't fix a player being lazy. You can't fix a player's unwillingness or, their inability to understand what's going on around them. There are certain shit that you just can't fix. And as unfortunate as it is, I think Frank Vogel is going to lose his job over this. And while I do think Frank Vogel is subject to a little bit of criticism here, you also have to look at the front office and place some blame on them. Rob Pelinka specifically. I understand you want to make LeBron happy, but at the end of the day, Rob Pelinka's job is to do what is in best interest of the team, not what is in best interest of LeBron James. And you know what? That could be controversial. I'm sure there's people who will disagree with that. But, I know if I were a GM in the NBA, and my best player was LeBron, I would definitely take what they want into consideration. But you also have to ask yourself, is this something we should do? You knew how much of an efficiency nightmare Russell Westbrook was. You know he's not a good shooter. You know he's never been asked to do anything like this ever in his life, to defer to other players. You know that he's not, he's a turnover machine. You know what I'm saying? You knew all these things before you made this trade for Russell Westbrook. And now the Lakers are strapped for cash for the next 2-3 years until, unless they're able to trade Russell Westbrook to someone, which I doubt. There's not a lot of interest in Russell Westbrook, but the Lakers are strapped, man. Like, I'll be honest, I'll be shocked if they're able to pull off anything at the deadline to acquire somebody to help this team. I'll be shocked if LeBron ever wins another title with how strapped they are for cash in this upcoming offseason. Unless they can unload Russell Westbrook and like Anthony Davis or Talen Horton-Tucker, or they have way too much salary divvied out between 3 players. And so that means they're only able to sign, minimum veteran contracts to players who are past their prime or guys who they think and hope will help them. So I don't think Frank Vogel is the guy that we should be pointing fingers at. I understand he's trying. I understand it's not working. But at what point do you stop blaming the coach and start blaming the players? That's where I'm at with this, because I watch the Lakers religiously, man. I watch them all the time, and I would say I watch the Lakers now more than any other basketball team, and I just watch it and I'm like, the communication on defense is not there. The awareness is not there. There's like literally just a lack of interest in playing defense on the Lakers. And I think they're a team that has so much firepower. I think they can win games strictly just by playing offense. And in the NBA, that doesn't work. They're a below 500 basketball team right now. And if the Lakers are going to win a championship this year, they need to make some serious, drastic changes to this roster. Preferably get some more youth, maybe some guys who are actually interested in playing defense. But at the end of the day, man, I think if the Lakers fire Frank Vogel, not only do I think they're going to regret it, because I think Frank Vogel's one of the best coaches in the league. He took the Pacers to the Eastern Conference Finals, in 2012, 2013, back-to-back. He's a very good defensive-minded coach. He plays half-court offense and defense. That's what Frank Vogel does. And a lot of people will say, like, that doesn't work in today's NBA. It does. You know why? Because he's been to multiple Eastern Conference Finals and has now won a championship with that same style. So there is a place for that in the NBA. It's just, right now, the Lakers are a fucking mess. And I think you need to blame the front office and start placing some blame on the players, which we've pretty much been doing. But it's important to put blame in the proper places. And unfortunately, I think Frank Vogel at the current point in time is like one of the last places you can put it. You can put blame there. I'm not saying he's not subject to any blame, but let's be real, okay? We need to look at the front office and the players on this roster. So tell me what you guys think down below in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on this. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more. This has been the Fast Break Report, and I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.